for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your continued pursuit of this issue in this series of hearings that you've chaired. It's been a full year since Bernard Madoff folded his own house of cards and admitted that he had operated the largest Ponzi scheme in history. You'd think that by this week, a full 12 months removed from Madoff's admission, our financial regulators, some of whom have admitted they were negligent in protecting investors from Madoff's fraud, would have helped as many victims as they could. You'd think that, given the enormity of Madoff's Ponzi scheme and the human tragedy that it's caused, they would have been as generous as possible. And you would think that because Madoff's investors received detailed, genuine-looking statements, his victims had every reasonable expectation that the money in their accounts was really there, belonged to them, and that they were thus fully protected by the security laws. Sadly, you'd be wrong. Instead, in the years since Madoff turned himself in, the largest, most sophisticated, advanced financial system in the world, rather than providing restitution to the investors in the largest fraud in history, has managed to create classes of victims who have turned against one another, forced to fight tooth and nail over only pennies on the dollar of what they reasonably thought belonged to them, and there is no end in sight. If there's anything we've learned in the years since Bernie Madoff turned himself in, it's that the confidence that investors had in the system, from the SEC's ability to police our markets to SIPC's guarantee of protection against fraud, was misplaced. Today's hearing begins in earnest the process of providing additional legal remedies to Madoff's victims. In my view, there are two issues that this subcommittee must address as we clarify and expand the Security Investor Protection Act: a limitation of SIPC's ability to claw back assets from innocent victims who are neither complicit nor negligent in a Ponzi scheme, and finding some mechanism by which SIPC insurance may be provided to defrauded feeder fund investors. I look forward to working together with you, Mr. Chairman, to address these issues in the coming weeks and to hear from our witnesses today. I'd also like to acknowledge that our witnesses who are Madoff victims and to thank them all for appearing before the subcommittee. There are scores and hundreds, Mr. Chairman, of others who wanted to appear. Most of them just couldn't afford the car fare, the bus fare, the train or plane fare to get here. We appreciate the witnesses who are here, being here with us this morning and testifying, and I look forward to hearing their testimony. And, Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous consent that the appropriate place that this folder of statements from additional witnesses be placed in the record.
Without objection, so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Ackerman.